Good morning and welcome to this Sunday's edition of Yes 101 Visual Radio, bringing you the news. I'm Mariam Ganavijaya.
And I'm Kenza Farooq. Now, before we take a look at your news in detail, let's take a look at your headlines.
News First headline.
Now, Mariam, starting off with your local news, Sri Lankan Fisherfolk gear up for protest to protect sea at Sri Lanka. Western Province Grade 10 and 11 term exams postponed due to leak of question papers. Another Goa prison inmate hospitalized with suspected brain fever. In your international news, UK-owned ship attacked by Houthis sinks off Yemen coast. Finally, in sports in NBA, LeBron James becomes first player to score 40,000 points.
On to your lead story this morning. Sri Lankan fisherfolk continue to face the challenge of Indian fisherfolk illegally entering the Sea of Sri Lanka and depleting vital maritime resources. In response to this ongoing issue, Sri Lankan fisherfolk in the north will hold a protest at sea today. Now, Sri Lankan fisherfolk in Jaffna are gearing up to hold a protest against illegal fishing activities by Indian fisherfolk in the Sri Lankan territory and to protect the Sea of Sri Lanka. The fisherfolk left from Point Pedro this morning to hold a protest at sea along the India-Sri Lanka maritime border. Now, meanwhile, a series of other protests will be held in other coastal areas in the Jaffna district as well.
Moving on to more local news, Western Provincial Education Director Nimal Jayavira announced the postponement of term exams for grades 10 and 11. The postponement follows the leak of question papers in history, science, mathematics and English circulating on social media. An investigation into the source of the leak is underway by the Western Province Education Department alongside a complaint filed with the Criminal Investigation Department.
Still in local news, the Galle prison authorities say another inmate has been hospitalized at the Karapitia Teaching Hospital after showing symptoms of brain fever or meningitis. This follows the previous deaths of 3 inmates from similar illnesses at the Galle and the Mathura prisons.
International news.
And in international news, a British-registered cargo ship has sunk 2 weeks after being attacked by Houthis in the Gulf of Aden. Yemen's government says the Rubima was drifting and taking on water for days before it sank. It is the first ship to have been sunk by the Iran-backed rebels in Yemen since they began targeting vessels in the Red Sea. Now, the ship was reportedly carrying fertilizer, and experts say the sink risks an environmental catastrophe. The Rubima was in the Gulf of Aden near the Bab al-Mandab Strait when it was hit by 2 missiles fired by Yemen-based Houthi rebels. 10 days ago, the British government said that the vessel had been taking in water and all its 24 crew had been rescued.
Sports news.
And now, Mariam, finally in your sports news, this is history, I would say, for a lot of basketball fans out there. And even for the ones playing basketball, LeBron James has become the first NBA player to score 40,000 career points, hitting a scoop layup of the glass in the second quarter of the Los Angeles Lakers home game against the Denver Nuggets. The 4-time champion King James became the league scoring king just over a year ago when he passed Lakers great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The 39-year-old is oldest NBA player but continues to produce at an elite level in his 21st season, where he is on track to average about 25 points per game.
And with that, we wrap up Yes 101 Visual Radio for this morning. You can join us again in this afternoon's edition of Visual Radio. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Mariam Ganavijaya.
And I'm Kenza Farooq. Thank you.